Welcome to episode 12 of Inclusion with Mansi. I'm your host, Mansi Chandorkar. Each week, we're going to discuss various areas of inclusion and how you can be an inclusion champion. So far, there was an introduction to inclusion, and then we've heard of personal experiences of both individuals as well as parents of individuals with specific learning disabilities share their journey with us. If you would like to share your journey, do get in touch. Today we are going to focus on the advantages of inclusion. I'm going to do this in two parts. So welcome to part 1. In our first two episodes, we have discussed what is inclusion and what is not inclusion. In these, we covered the terms exclusion, segregation, integration, and inclusion. I hope these terms are clear now. Do go back and listen to the episodes if you need a refresher. So, in the first episode, we had discussed that inclusive education allows students of all backgrounds to learn and grow side by side to the benefit of all. From my personal experience, the earlier the students are included, the classroom environment and bonding is a lot better. Younger children see other children as friends and would love to help them out. The older they get, the tougher it becomes for them to adjust to differences as biases set in, especially from the adults around them. Well, did you know that research conducted in inclusive classrooms shows that there are benefits to both neurotypical and neurodiverse students? Neurotypical students are those students without disabilities, and neurodiverse students are students with disabilities or special learning needs. So, in this episode, we will focus on some of the advantages for the students with disabilities or neurodiverse students. Let's start with the most obvious one, that is, it provides better opportunities for learning since they have the same access to education and facilities as their peers. In any classroom, you will come across children with varying abilities. Differentiated instructions will help everyone, and co-teaching in the class makes it easier for students on an IEP to learn the same material at their level with their peers. It will make the student feel more involved and as a part of the class. Hence, it allows them to work on individual goals while being with other students their own age. And it may also make them feel safer as they're not isolated. It also helps them learn social behaviors modeled through the other children. It is important to give them a chance to figure things out. Let them learn how to deal with different situations by watching others and testing the waters. Students with special needs who are included in mainstream classrooms develop more positive views of themselves, form friendships with neurotypical students, and are better able to keep up with their curriculum and learn important academic and life skills as well. The next one is my personal favorite, having higher expectations from the student. This is something that I truly believe in. We know that people rise to the occasion, so students do this as well. In fact, they do it much better than adults. If you expect the child to do something, they will try their best to reach that level. However, if they constantly get messages that they're not capable of doing it, guess what? They will live up to that expectation as well and not do the work just as you expected. So it is extremely important to have high but realistic expectations from them as well. They are battling delays in learning and other difficulties, and you'll be surprised to see how their determination overcomes many of life's challenging moments. Lastly, we should note that with more welcoming, positive school environment, they develop the readiness skills for inclusion outside of school. I know that we all believe that all children deserve to be a part of this community and develop a sense of belonging. This will help them be better prepared for life in the community as children and then as adults. To sum it up, inclusion may reduce stigma, allow for social learning, increase social acceptance, and improve the social standing of the neurodiverse students. I'm sure you may have heard some of these earlier, right? This is not an exhaustive list by any chance. So do comment or email to let me know of any more that you can think of. I'm going to end today's episode with some food for thought. Do you think that neurotypical students or students without any disabilities would benefit from inclusion? Are you aware of any advantages for them? Do let me know and tune in to next week's episode to find out more. Thank you for tuning in to Inclusion with Mansi. If you've enjoyed today's episode, do share the podcast with your family and friends. I would love to hear your feedback. You can connect with me on my Facebook page or Instagram at Inclusion with Mansi. You may also email me at inclusionwithmansi@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Until next time, remember to share our similarities and celebrate our differences.